What's up, guys? It's Chase here with Producer Bros, and today I'm going to be flipping a hip-hop song from an upcoming artist called Spilled Paint. Stay tuned.
Producer Bros! Producer Bros!
Alright, so for today's episode, we song flipped a song from a small-time hip-hop band from Michigan called Spilled Paint. I'm going to go ahead and put the link up here now. You guys go ahead and pause the video, go and listen to the song so you can get the before effect, and I'll wait. Alright, so now that you've done that, the song was really impressive to me. I think the lyrical rhythm had a lot of good pockets in it. I also think that the beat was really enticing. There was a lot of good stuff to work with here. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get to it.
Hey yo, it's song flip day, and I'm here to say we gonna flip that song until we blue in the face. Yo, song flip! Song flip! Hey, song flip! Song flip!
Alright guys, so to start, because this was a hip-hop driven song, I went ahead and produced it in Ableton. I have a tendency to use Ableton specifically for this genre. I've been producing in Ableton for a while, so I don't know if you guys have an opinion on whether or not you think Ableton or Logic Pro X or a specific DAW is better or worse for a specific genre. Drop that in the comments, let me know. But for today, this is how I laid it out, so I'll go ahead and dig in. The first thing that I did was I went ahead and imported this sample from your original song, and here's that. It was really a trademark to the song, so I just went ahead and sampled it. So here's the gist of the processing that I did to that specific instrument. Just pretty much compressed it with a ratio of 4. EQ'd it. I really wanted it to sit on the top end because in hip hop, drums are really important and bass is really important. So I didn't want those frequencies to be muddied up by other instruments, and I figured it would cut through the mix clear if I just kept it on the top end. So you can see I applied a low cut here and then just boosted it around the 4K range. And then the only other thing that I did for this specific instrument was I went ahead and applied a limiter to get it up to just below 0 dB and push the gain. Alright, so on to the bass. I recorded this bass line with just my cheap bass guitar. I tried to mimic what you did in the song as best I could, so I'll go ahead and play back what I got. Alright, so here's the effects chain that I applied to the bass. Really pretty simple. Just some minor compression here, and then for the EQ, as you can see, I really boosted the frequencies up to 63 Hertz, and then I ducked out really hard right after that, mainly because I wanted to make room for the kick. Something that I noticed in like 90s hip-hop, classic hip-hop styles, is that the bass lines actually played more of a background to the drum kit. The drums were really what were rhythmically driving the song. The drums are really important. I really wanted to make sure that the drums are hitting hard, and you'll see that when I go into my explanation of the production on the kit. And then the only other thing that I applied, again, was a limiter here just to get it up to 0 dB, or just below 0 dB, as you can see with the ceiling. Alright, so let's dig into the drums. The drums were really the bulk of the work that I did on this track, so I'm excited to show you what I did. So we'll start with the hi-hats. I noticed you did something interesting in the original track. The hi-hats really had this swing to them. The thing I ended up applying to really recreate that effect and make it sound cool was delay. So you can see I dropped some sloppy delay here and pulled the dry wet back a little bit. And I applied something called ping pong. So what that means is, in Ableton, ping pong means it's bouncing back and forth between the left and the right ear in the pan, the delay is. So I'll go ahead and play just the hi-hats back for you and let you see what that sounds like. So that kind of helped to create that whole entire swing vibe in the song as a whole. I think it ended up sounding cool. So onto the drum rack. As I said, this was the majority of the work that I did, so I'm just going to briefly run you through some of the things that I did to really make these drums stand out and punch in your face. Alright, so here's the chain of effects that I used on the kick. So I first used a waves plugin called Torque that allows you to tune drums to bring the tune of the kick down about 20 cents, really give it that low boom, and there's a focus range around 134 Hertz. Brought the threshold back to really apply that. And I also brought the speed back to make it happen faster. In the EQ, you can see I dropped the frequencies that I boosted the bass in, and then I really gave it, I realized this is a wide EQ band, this is a wide bell, there's a really deep bench here of boost. But like I said, I think the kick is really the driving factor of this style of hip hop, and I think that it was really important that it be in your face. So I give it a large boost, as you can see, about a 5 dB boost, around 125 to 250 hertz range, and I brought the Q back, really widened that boost up, and then I also applied a high cut. From there, I applied another Waves plugin called Smack Attack. These are two Waves plugins that I use for hip hop drums constantly. They really help. Smack Attack is basically a transient processor. So if you don't know what a transient is, if you look at the waveform of a sample, it's going to be the beginning of that waveform, like the initial attack of the note. So what this allows me to do is essentially sharpen or loosen the attack and prolong or cut back on the sustain of the note. So I used this, was one of the primary tools that really helped get the in-your-face kick by pulling this attack back, because what that does is it really just creates a punch in the drum that I appreciated in this track. And then from there, it was just some compression. You brought the output of the track up, compressed it quite a bit to be able to just get the kick in your face. From there on, I pretty much applied the same plugins to every drum in some different fashion. Obviously, some of them I pulled back on the attack, some of them I pushed forward with the attack, but that's the gist of my processing for each individual drum. And then on the rack as a whole, I ended up applying EQ again, compression again, this core drum master bus that is an Ableton preset that essentially again processed the transients and just pulled up the gain of the whole entire bus a little bit, and then a limiter to bring it all up to 0 dB and cut it off. And one thing I would like to point out altogether with the drums is one trick I've learned. I actually noticed this first in Kanye songs, because he's really great with drum production, is that there's a novelty to using multiple samples of the same type of drum. So in this song, for example, I doubled up this hybrid snare every other beat with the tight snare sample that I had selected for the track. And what that does is it really just creates some dynamicism and diversity in the drum track, which is again important as they're the driving factor. That's why we call it a beat, not just a song. So I'll go ahead and show you guys what that sounded like. And then what I did was, just to run you back through some of those plugins that I used. Since I brought the attack, I created a faster attack on the snare to really make it snap in your face. This clicking sample, I used a transient processor, and I slowed the attack. As you can see, the further the meter is up, the slower the attack is. I slowed the attack here and pushed forward the sustain. So the snare has little sustain and fast attack, and this has slow attack and much sustain. So what's happening there is the snare is getting the beginning of the beat, it's getting the tat tat tat, it's getting that piece of it, and then this kind of clicking sample is getting the release. So it's getting the and then the snare gets the and then this gets the like the ending portion of it. If I could recreate a drum sample with my voice. And then again with the drum bus, I ended up just staggering everything a little bit since there was quite a bit of swing to the song. So then on the overall compression for the drum bus, I brought the attack back again because I wanted that snap, the attack of the compression. And then I did boost the output gain of the whole entire thing quite a bit because I wanted it just comparatively to the rest of the track. I wanted the drums to be a bit louder than everything else, and to have their pocket. And that was my main goal with this track. So then on to vocals. I had a fun time recording these vocals. I did it about 4 o'clock in the morning, but I got my own little spin on it. So I'll just run you through what I did here.
Do I build to destroy or destroy to succeed?
So actually, this little lyric here reminds me of a Cartoon Network program I used to watch as a kid called Destroy, Build, Destroy.
Destroy, build, destroy!
So I'll probably use that reference on Songflip quite a bit now, thanks to you. I'll run you through some of the processing that I did here. I did do a vocal double, so I'll run you through what that sounds like. I did like a lower double that sounded like this.
Build to destroy, yeah, destroy to succeed. From the east to the west, to the dirt, to the trees.
And then I did a higher one, just like the more main punch.
Do I build to destroy, yeah, destroy to succeed? From the east to the west, to the dirt, to the trees. There's always an ego.
Maybe if you have a lower voice altogether, you would want more of the warmer tone rap style. That is like Biggie Smalls type rap, you know. My voice is more in the mid-range, so when I do the lower stuff, I can pull it off, but if I do it wet without anything else, it's going to sound kind of cliche. So I went for more of the higher tone, like Eminem style rap up here, and then on the bottom, I just doubled up with a little bit of lower tone. As far as the vocal chain, all I did was I ran it through an EQ. As you can see, I applied a low cut and a high cut just to cut out some of the mud, and then just boosted it where I thought my vocals were lying, sharpened it up quite a bit, and I applied a compressor and a limiter to again bring it up. And then for the vocals and the chorus, the only thing that I did different was I applied some reverb because I felt like it really fit the ambience of the song. One cool little vocal trick that I did pull was I took this build, as you can hear in the chorus rap here.
Do I build to destroy?
Do I build to destroy? So I took the build and then I just sampled it, and then I applied eighth note delay to it. So I thought that added a cool effect to it. Really is something that's iconic to that era of rap, to like a classic rap hip hop vibe. So with the whole track, that sounds.
Do I build to destroy, yeah, destroy to succeed? From the east to the west.
And then pretty much the only other thing in the track was this pad that came in during the chorus. I thought it sounded cool, but some of the notes are kind of conflicting. I couldn't really replicate it. So what I ended up doing was I just grabbed my own pad, and I use a pitch bend, or the pitch bend wheel on my MIDI controller to create this. Almost reminds me of an old video game or something. So then the only other processing I really did was to the master. Again, I did an EQ. I applied a low cut where the mud was really coming through the track. Like I said, below 20 dB is pretty much inaudible. And then I boosted where the kick was, because like I said, I really wanted this the drums to stick out in this mix. So I did everything I possibly could to just make them forefront. And then I did a high shelf boost. Actually, a guy named Thomas that makes some of our band songs quite a bit, he taught me this trick, or he mentioned it to me when I was out with him one time. He said that he does this, he calls it the smiley face. So he said that he will boost the lows and the highs and just leave a little pocket of mids subtracted in the master of a track, just very ever so slightly. And it's a trick that I've used ever since then, because it really does brighten up a mix. These lyrics are some of the weirdest ones I've ever recorded, so thank you for that. I do want to say I'm a youth leader at a church, so I want to say to any of my kids that may ever watch this video, don't be smoking J's with Earl. It ain't cool. Don't do drugs. And I did cut this this part here because I don't know what the heck kind of coffee or whatever you were talking about, but the words did not register to me. It was maybe 5 o'clock in the morning, and I wasn't going to get them out in a rap. So thanks.
Get in number 3 with the... I'm from Ohio. You expect me to pronounce that? I really want to make it in this world.
So there's that. So now for the finished product.
Do Do I build to destroy or destroy to succeed? From the east to the west, to the dirt, to the trees, there's always an ego that's burning in me. It's the sins of a man, do you know what I mean? Do I build to destroy or destroy to succeed? From the east to the west, to the dirt, to the trees, there's always an ego that's burning in me. It's the sins of a man, do you know what I mean? From the streets to the booth, bumping Snoop, gin and juice, the ego building up cause the music getting views. Does the music that I make reflect who I am, or am I too good to give up? That's the ego again. I'm sorry, I gotta get it for my freaking family. I gotta do what I can do and see what I can do with these. I wanna make a million, then I'll worry about a billion. Too much work that I've been putting in, the fame just seems so sweet again.
I really wanna make it in this world. I wanna make it for the fame and the fortune and the girls. I want a nice car with the diamonds and the pearls. Brush my teeth at 9 and I'll smoke a J with Earl. I really wanna make it in this world. I wanna make it for the fame and the fortune and the girls. I want a nice car with the diamonds and the pearls. Brush my teeth at 9 and I'll smoke a J
Do I
with
build
Earl.
to destroy or destroy to succeed? From the east to the west, to the dirt, to the trees, there's always an ego that's burning in me. It's the sins of a man, do you know what I mean? Do I build to destroy or destroy to succeed? From the east to the west, to the dirt, to the trees, there's always an ego that's burning in me. It's the sins of a man, do you know what I mean? When I get the nice cars and the fancy clothes, I'ma drive around bumping like C3PO. Yeah, that's gold from the head down to the toes. Chill like Ice Cube, what they hitting for? Put the whip in reverse just to hear the brake skirt. Winking at the lady with the MJ shirt. Then I get a number 3 with the...
I'm from Ohio. You expect me to pronounce that?
I really wanna make it in this world. I wanna make it for the fame and the fortune and the girls. I want a nice car with the diamonds and the pearls. Brush my teeth at 9 and I'll smoke a J with Earl. I really wanna make it in this world. I wanna make it for the fame and the fortune and the girls. I want a nice car with the diamonds and the pearls. Brush my teeth at 9 and I'll smoke a J
Do I
with
build to
Earl.
destroy or destroy to succeed? From the east to the west, to the dirt, to the trees, there's always an ego that's burning in me. It's the sins of a man, do you know what I mean? Do I build to destroy or destroy to succeed? From the east to the west, to the dirt, to the trees, there's always an ego that's burning in me. It's the sins of a man, do you know what I mean?
And that was pretty much it, guys. So I had a lot of fun doing this song flip, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. If you want more information on anything, comment below. Let me know what you guys, if there was something I missed that I didn't cover, or if there's something else you guys would want me to talk about. If you have a song that you want me to song flip, go ahead and send it to theproducerbros@gmail.com. And you guys keep it real. We will catch you next week on the Gilmore Girls. I meant the Producer Bros. Whatever. Same deal.